The religious leaders of the day approached Jesus with a straightforward demand: show us a miracle to prove who you are. He gave them exactly one. He told them no sign would be given to their generation except the sign of the prophet Jonah. To an observer, this sounds like a strange deflection. Offering a famous story about a man swallowed by a giant fish hardly seems like an adequate response to men demanding undeniable proof of divine authority. Jesus pointed dead directly to a highly specific ancient blueprint they were failing to recognize. Jesus moved past metaphor to read his own obituary into the ancient scroll, treating Jonah's story as a literal preview of his own death. Look at the exact wording in Matthew 12. This graphic shows the Greek text en te cardia tes geis, which translates directly to in the heart of the earth. This wording describes a descent into the deepest interior point of absolute darkness, a state of inescapable isolation. He explicitly states that exactly as Jonah was in the fish, the Son of Man will be in the earth. This establishes a stated typological correspondence. Jonah's story maps to a literal death, not a near miss. To see this, we have to look at the prayer recorded in Jonah 2. This text functions as a precise theological statement about death. Jonah describes his location using the Hebrew term Sheol, the realm of the departed. He emphasizes a state of death, not struggling to survive. He pairs this with Shahat, the pit. Together, they form a unified ancient vocabulary for the grave. This is the exact same vocabulary found in Psalm 16, where David writes, "You will not abandon my soul to Sheol." Decades later, at Pentecost, Peter quotes that exact line to explain how Christ was resurrected. By using this language, the first 2 days of the Jonah timeline are screened entirely by a descent into absolute death. It establishes the impossible conditions required for a divine rescue. Throughout the Hebrew Bible, the number 3 operates as a strict chronological timeline for periods of severe divine testing followed by rescue. We see it when Abraham makes an agonizing 3-day journey to Mount Moriah, believing he is about to lose his son. We see it when Esther fasts for 3 days at the brink of execution, and the prophet Hosea is explicit, stating that on the 3rd day he will raise us up, that we may live before him. This mechanism shows days 1 and 2 as crisis and silence. On day 3, the timeline spikes. God acts. This maps to the disciples' experience: Friday's crucifixion, Saturday's silence, and Sunday's rescue. The disciples thought the story ended on Friday. But the 3rd day was never an arbitrary number. It is the unbroken chronological logic of divine rescue woven throughout the ancient text. Emerging from the grave is never the end of the story. It is the catalyst that launches a completely new mission. After Jonah was rescued, he went to Nineveh. This was a purely Gentile city and the hated, violent enemy of Israel. A Hebrew prophet preached to tens of thousands of pagan Gentiles, and the entire city repented. The full blueprint of the sign of Jonah demands this final step. The saved prophet brings salvation directly to the people considered absolute outsiders. Jesus drew a parallel to this when he prophesied that something greater than Jonah is here, signaling a global mission far beyond a single Assyrian city. This diagram maps the Acts 1:8 mandate, showing the mission exploding outward from Jerusalem to Judea and Samaria, reaching the ends of the earth. It reveals an exact 3-part sequence: a descent into death, a 3-day rescue timeline, and a global mission to the nations. The book of Jonah is the gospel in miniature, a precise chronological blueprint of global salvation preserved in the Hebrew scriptures for centuries. The Bible is more than history. It is God's plan for redemption. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and journey with us through the people, places, prophecies, and mysteries of Scripture. And before you go, leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.